Hey guys, it is Jimmy Liu with Swiss Realty here. And in today's video, we're going to go over the question that I've gotten many times. That is, what is the easiest way to invest in real estate with as little risk as possible? Obviously, there's no such thing as no risk when it comes to real estate investing. However, there's many ways to minimize that. So what I will let you know is the easiest way to invest in real estate. In my opinion, it is going with something that's a near turnkey property. That's a buy and hold strategy. You put 20% down. It's going to be very near turnkey. It needs a little bit in work, obviously some light cosmetics, but it's going to hit the 1% rule. It's going to have some positive built-in equity, and it's in a solid residential location. You just essentially put 20% down. You do a really quick turnover, put a tenant in, and you instantly start net cash flowing a few $100s a month right from the get-go. So my client did exactly this. And a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, single family house. It hits the 1% rule. As you can see right here, it is hitting over $250 a month net cash flow. It has over $40,000 worth of built-in equity. And I have the actual appraisal report. And next up, it's in a very desirable location and zip code as well too. So from this one deal where you put 20% down payment on, he was able to get cash flow, equity, and a very solid location as well too. So we're going to do an entire breakdown on this deal. We're going to look at the rent comps, ARV comps, estimated renovation budget, the scope of work, my thoughts on the property, and we're actually going to crunch the numbers so you can see exactly why it's such a good deal. Okay. So first things first is we're going to look at the actual property on hand. So this is the address of the property. It's 415 Elburn Avenue. And this property, my client closed on it for $214,800. So as you can see right here, it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, single family house. It's over 1,200 plus square feet. And my client used conventional financing as well too. We'll pull this property. It was built in 1957. So with that being said, let's look at the picture for the property and see how it looks. So first things first is, again, this property is going to be very near turnkey. Yes, it will need some light cosmetics. Any property that you buy will always typically need a little bit in cosmetics. But obviously for the first one, I always do recommend taking it as easy as possible. And again, staying as light in cosmetics when it comes to, again, doing turnover. So the first thing I would say is, again, flooring looks pretty good as you can see so far. Light fixtures above look pretty updated. So it looks like this property has been recently updated. Paint on the first floor looks pretty good for the most part. You have some older appliances. Kitchen could definitely use a little bit of updating, in my opinion. I would definitely update the kitchen a little bit. So what I would do is I would look into potentially replacing some of the appliances. I would replace some of the countertops with like granite or quartz. I would change out the sink for a farmhouse style sink, one big sink essentially. I would repaint the kitchen cabinets to just make it look a lot better essentially. Again, it looks like it used a little bit of updating, but that's all I would do for the kitchen. Also looks like some of the light fixtures are a little bit dated, as you can see right there. Also for the bathroom, I would definitely update the bathroom a little bit. I would say some new light fixtures, a new mirror, maybe redo some of the tile right here by the sink. It looks a little ugly. That's all I would do. Again, bathroom looks pretty good for the most part. Looks like bedrooms here have some carpet right here. And then it looks like some parts of the house. So this part, mostly, it looks like some of the baseboards, some of the window trim, some of the light fixtures, some of the flooring. It looks a little outdated. Also, I would probably repaint it as well too in this case. So definitely some repainting and maybe some new flooring and some new light fixtures in some parts of the house as well too. And then same thing with this other second bathroom. I would probably redo the mirror, the light fixtures. That's all I would do. And then here as well too, maybe some new paint, some new light fixtures. So when it comes to scope of work, I would say we're probably, in my opinion, looking at anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 in terms of renovation. I personally think we could get it done for $5,000 or less, because again, it's very light in cosmetics. But again, if you wanted to go above and beyond and be a little bit more conservative, you could use $10,000 for the turnover budget. But personally, I had it at $5,000. Okay, next up, we're going to look at the location. So when it comes to looking at locations, I always recommend taking a look at the nearby neighbor's curb appeal, how the neighbor houses look, looking at things like, okay, does it look like your neighbors take care of their lawns? Like, how do the lawns look? Are there trashy cars everywhere? Is there trash all over the street? Does it look like the neighborhood's very quiet? Does it feel very safe? I always make sure to ask myself all these questions when I'm walking these properties for my clients. And when I again, walk this property, I did a scope of work and renovation budget for the interior and the exterior of the property. Also, I also did a video walkthrough of the surrounding neighborhood. So I basically recorded myself walking throughout the entire neighborhood to my client to see what their feedback was and if they liked the neighborhood and liked everything that they saw so far. My client was very happy with the neighborhood. She was a huge fan of the neighborhood. It felt very residential, felt very safe according to her. So again, she provided very good input that she really liked what the neighborhood looked like, and she was a very big fan of it. So as you can see right here, the market rents for this property for a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, single family house, it is going to be around $2,000 a month. As you can see right here, it's actually currently rented as we speak, actually at $2,000 a month. Next up, we're going to look at some ARV comps now. So when it comes to pulling ARV comps, we always want to look for same bedrooms, same bathrooms, similar square footage, and within the same neighborhood as well too. So when I first found the property, I did see these two really good comps where I found this one on the same exact street, 4 bedrooms, two bathrooms. And as you can see right here, it's renovated very nicely. And this one sold for $245. And we have another one for 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. And again, similarly renovated, looks very nice as well too. This one sold for $255, as you can see. So long story short, I told my client when we first saw this deal together, I told them, hey, I think we have $30,000 worth of built-in equity in this deal, just because, again, based on what the comps are showing me. So in my opinion, I thought we had $30,000 worth of built-in equity. When we got the actual appraisal back, it came back at $255. It appraised at $255, which is absolutely insane. Again, as a reminder, we got under contract at $215. That means there's $40,000 worth of built-in equity from right away, like right from the get-go. $40,000 worth of built-in equity based on what the appraiser has stated, which is absolutely mind-blowing. This deal, just to recap, hits the 1%. We're pretty much right there, positive cash flowing. It has $40,000 worth of built-in equity, and it's also in a solid location too. So next up, we're going to run the numbers on the deal analysis calculator. So as you can see right here, it's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, single family house, 1,200 square feet. My client, again, they're currently under contract or closed at $214,800. They use conventional financing, which typically for investment properties, you are required to put 20% down payment. For closing fees like title, other third-party fees involved, typically looking at 1.5% of the purchase price. So in terms of down payment wise, for the 20% down, my client had to bring roughly $43,000. Then closing costs, again, a few extra thousand just for third-party fees and title and everything. You're looking at $3,222. And then obviously we budgeted $5,000 for repairs and turnover. So the actual total cash to close this property is roughly $51,182. And again, this includes turnover and renovation as well too. It's not the cash to close the actual property, but obviously for everything needed, roughly you're looking at $51,182. So with their loan, they have an interest rate of roughly 6.5%. They use a 30-year fixed loan in this case, which is again, very normal when it comes to conventional finance loans. And hypothetically, we're going to use the scenario that there's 6% appreciation year over year, which again, that's very conservative here in Columbus, Ohio. It's one of the fastest growing markets in the entire US. And then also cost to sell, it's going to be 8%, which 6% goes to realtors, realtor commissions, and then 2% for extra closing costs. And then let's say hypothetically, they close or they decide to sell after 10 years. Okay. This is what their sale price would be after roughly 10 years. So we're going to put in the monthly rental amount, which again is $2,000 a month. And then here is their property taxes. So I actually pulled this directly from the tax auditor site, which is $200 a month. Home insurance is roughly $85 a month here in Columbus, Ohio. And then for reserves like PM, repairs, maintenance, and pretty much vacancy, I always recommend using 855, 8% for PM fees, 5% for CapEx, maintenance, everything included, and then 5% for vacancy as well. So because of that, it's 855. Again, I've had a lot of clients I've seen use like 10, 10, 10, 10, or 12, 12, 12, 12. And the thing is, as an investor, you want to be conservative, but you don't want to be overly conservative, because if you are overly conservative and you budget way too much, even if you found an amazing deal that's supposed to hit the 1% rule, you would still be negative cash flowing by a ton just because of how conservative your numbers are. So it's important to be conservative, but not overly conservative. So for me personally, I always recommend 8% for PM fees, 5% for repairs and maintenance. That includes CapEx as well too. And then 5% for vacancy. So that's typically how I do my reserve numbers. Okay. So after inputting all these numbers, so our cash on cash return is roughly 6.5%. Our annual cash flow is $3,322, and our NOI for the entire year is $16,356. And if you account for IRR, you're looking at 21.64%. And if you're looking at the cap rate, you're at 7.61%. If you're looking at the net cash flow amount per month, you're looking at $276 net cash flow a month. And then if you're looking at the annual amount, that's $3,322 net cash flow for the entire year. And then if we look at it from, we're going to sell it in 10-year standpoint, it looks like we are going to have a cash on cash return of 212%. And then our total profit when sold, it's going to be $108,642. Again, if you like everything that you've seen so far, definitely make sure to hit me up. I would love to help you guys find a deal similar like this. Make sure to sign up for a call with me on my calendar link. You can find that in my profile description below. So feel free to reach out to me. Again, if you are interested in working with me, I help investors find the next buy and hold, BRRRR, flip, short-term, midterm rental here in Columbus, Ohio. And on top of that, I've done well over 35 million in terms of real estate sales now. I've done well over 200 plus real estate transactions just in the last 2 years alone. And I've worked with many clients all across the US. So if you want to work with me, feel free to sign up for my calendar link in my profile description below. Feel free to reach out. We'd love to help you guys. Thank you so much for your time today. See you. Bye.